brinca, tócate.
Okay.
Brinca, zapica, brinca, tócate. Brinca, 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 zapica, zapica.
I want to know if it was true that cum turns your teeth white.
I remember it was opposite spectrums. My grandmother's voice singing like old Cuban lullabies, and then Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. I remember I had the tape, or my mom, and I was like 3 or 4.
You broke my will, but what a thrill. Goodness and gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
Immigrant family, you know, Cuban, no money, so I played that tape like 1,000 times. But my grandma's voice too, I remember those songs, you know? I had this really cool mixer that I bought that had effects on it had effects, and you can route it to the mic or to the channels. And I began learning like how to, like, you know, play an instrumental, fuck it up. And I think that was the beginning of like discovering that I wanted to do more than DJing, and wanted to like just break sound and get the magic from the sound barrier. And
Mueve la popola, así, así. Shake it like a chonga, así, así. Mueve la popola, así, así. Shake it like a chonga, así. Super sucia.
La montaña de Camagüey, las mujeres lavando hola.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. La de la popola, que popola is the best. Do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. La de la popola, even cholas keep it clean.
at first it was like friends. Press record on the tape and everybody's rapping or singing or screaming and messing up the tracks. We didn't have much equipment. I remember buying my first beat machine off a crackhead for nothing, I think like $20 or something. And I didn't even know it was a good one or bad one, if it worked or not. And it worked, like old 80s, like, you know, like it's crappy, but dope as fuck. When I was a kid, the main music that was on the radio was freestyle and Miami bass. And that affected all of us in Miami. Like my mom would jam to all the freestyle Miami bass jams, like top 40, you know? You know, now she's into reggaeton or whatever, you know, but then it was bass and a lot of like booty music and tons of freestyle. Because in Miami, there's a big immigrant, you know, a lot of people came from all sorts of the world and they're first generation Americans. So we have this like really poor core of like hardcore family and like, you know, tight, you know? Maybe when I had the power to buy a sampler. That was when I bought a sampler, that was the day I was like, all right, now I can make something. And not just on 4-track or, you know, which still is dope, but I think my music shines more when I get to make it like laboratory and take sounds from everywhere and make the magic.
Dirty, I'm wet. I rave to you in the night. I rave of love so true. In the night I rave of love so true. In the night I rave of love so true.
In 1993, there was a club called The Edge, and they had an after hours, and it was all ages, so I was allowed to go. I was only 14 or 15, and I felt like those parties changed my life. And then slowly I started playing those parties. And one of the most epic parties from back then to DJ, it was these full moon parties. Like literally you would be outside in Miami under the full moon playing at this like castle that was made for kids to like do go-karts. And like everybody's just on drugs. There was no rules. Cops didn't know what was going on. They're like, oh, they're not serving alcohol, they just have water. These good kids, you know? Meanwhile, everybody's just candy flipping or, you know, and just really opening the porthole and coming together and, you know, shining through the light of the music. It's kind of boring to just sit there and press play. And I've always been into bands and playing in bands, but I always made electronic on the side. I was still pumping the bass and I'm always diverse. I'm always creating endless amounts of music, you know, because it's all in the air, you know? And I just capture it at different parts of the day and record it.
Evil twin is the bass. Evil twin, everybody has one. Evil twin, let them out.
Oh, my brothers from Berlin. Shout out Modeselektor. Blessed to the almighty, Monkey Town Records. Love those guys. I met them the year 2000 in Detroit at DEMF, right? All these people played and I met them and then we just vibed and they were just like, yo, here's a track, spit on it, you know, put some words on it and it really worked. Like, you know, I think my vocals and their sound really worked together well.
Evil twin. Evil twin. Evil twin.
I'm myself. Maybe on stage I jump into the music more and maybe scream more and make the stories of the songs come true. But yeah, it's me. That's who I am. I'm still the same person. I feel like I'm still a kid, you know? Blessed by the Bermuda Triangle. This body's getting old though. I gotta change soon. Not too soon, maybe another 150 years. Yeah, you could buy new bodies on the dark net. I'm gonna be a female, Japanese female with a big ass dick. My favorite.
I am Otto Von Schirach from the Bermuda Triangle. Fuck with me.
I'm Takudo. Let's go hunting.
Yeah. Oh shit. Where the vampires at?
Merci beaucoup, Francia. Bendiciones, Otto Von Schirach, Bermuda Triangle.
Yo soy como los vampiros y salgo al anochecer. Y no es más de me pido, me llevo la mujer. Vampiro, vampiro.